Hi, I'm Elaine Acker. Welcome. I'm guessing if you're here, you're having some issues either with consistency in the content you're creating, the quality of the content you're creating, or just the problem of time. If you don't have enough time to gather your thoughts, to put them into words and put them out there, then people are not going to always know what you stand for and how you can help them solve problems. And I'm here to help solve that problem. And people ask me how this works. So I thought it might be easier if I just show you exactly how it works step by step. So I'm first of all, you may see defy. That actually says defy gravity. It's my Wicked shirt. So I hope that's exactly what we can do when we create your content. All right. So I start out with an interview. Everything I do kind of hinges on my journalism background because I've done tons of interviews for articles, and I really think I know how to get to the heart of a story. And storytelling is what it's all about in your business. So the first thing I do is sit down for even just a 30-minute interview. It's the kind of thing where a great conversation can help you find so many good ideas for things to write about that really reflect your thought leadership. And really quick, let me define thought leadership. I believe your content is a reflection of you. You are not like anyone else in the whole wide world. Your background, your experiences, um, your education, all of the things that you've gone through up to this point have made you who you are. And so when I say thought leadership, it's really just speaking, using your experience, your perspective as your lens. That's it. That makes you a thought leader. So good, cleared that up. Now, so recently I did a podcast episode with Sean Patton, and he was kind enough to let me take that episode and use it as an example here because it was about 30 minutes. So Sean is the author of the book, A Warrior's Mindset, The Six Keys to Greatness. So he's already written a book. A lot of my clients have not yet written a book, but once they start producing regular content, they start thinking about writing a book. So Sean and I sat down for the podcast interview. It was about 30 minutes, and I took the audio and I did a transcript of it. When I did the transcript, I ended up with about 14 pages worth of content. So you think we can't take that and turn it into all sorts of things? Absolutely, we can. So hang on one sec. I'm going to highlight all the things that really caught my eye. Wow. Okay, let's go back and count. I found one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I found 17 pieces of content that I could create based on this one 30-minute conversation. So let me talk about it. I will be sure that Sean's interview is right here with this so that you can find it. So Sean is a leadership coach, and we did this 30-minute conversation. So I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, oh, yes, introduce yourself. That's a really good one on LinkedIn to periodically reintroduce yourself. So in his case, he would explain about his military background, his time at West Point, his time as a Green Beret, and his time spent in special forces, literally working side by side with foreign forces. So it's mind-blowing. Anyway, periodically reintroducing yourself is an awesome way to use that. We talked about the fact that he also owns a Brazilian jiu-jitsu business. Well, I'm guessing there's a whole lot of leadership skills and self-control and things like that that are tied into the Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So we could explore that. this was the one that I told him on the podcast, just really, whew. Um, he has a quote here that, we just ask that you be an American worth fighting, killing, and dying for. And he can talk about that from his unique perspective, like so few people can. So that is certainly a powerful thing to explore. He talks about self-leadership. So now this might be a little bit of his coaching. Um, he talks about the Harry Potter movies and how he and his wife were rewatching those, and how there's a scene where when Harry Potter comes back from a big battle and he's lost one of his friends, how that made him feel, how he related to that. Personal stories are great. So I'm also looking for a variety of things. I'm looking for things that are going to help my clients either share, educate somebody, inspire somebody, start a conversation. And then we always end up, of course, talking about what it is you offer, what problems you're solving. He talks a lot about gratitude, so we can get into why we're the most fortunate people on the planet, and I believe that. And he's got a lot more detail. So I'm just going, ooh, that's a concept I can hang a hat on. And how do you think even bigger? He says something along the lines of, if it doesn't make your brain hurt, you're not thinking big enough. So he coaches people to, really achieve big goals. He has a maxim when he's making decisions. Is it going to maximize his own experience of life, or is it going to maximize his impact on others? So there's one. What's the delta between what you're settling for and what you're capable of? He talks about how veterans are uniquely positioned to bridge, and be a unifying force in this country. And if you think about it, they weren't fighting for a party; they were fighting for a country. And I think that really stood out to me. He talks about the scientific method and how if we will just kind of use some of that thinking to try to disprove our own beliefs, we can come closer to understanding other people. He had to learn Arabic, so we could totally dig into what it was like to learn a foreign language and how that relates to leadership. Back to that scientific method, he's talking about, the hypothesis and trying to run the experiment to prove it wrong. And if you're not doing that, you're shrinking your worldview over time. He's saying people are at risk. They can have a smaller worldview at 60 than they did at 30 if they're not actively, working to expand and read and learn. And then he's got his book we can talk about. He's got his podcast we can talk about. Of course, he talks about leadership within organizations. So it's a leadership development program so that you're retaining employees and then growing that. And let's talk for a moment. You may be thinking, oh, that's just Sean. He's a coach. He's way further down the road than I am. No, I guarantee you that if you and I sat down for a conversation, I could come up with 17 different things for you too. So what is happening is once I have done the interview, I've gone through, read it, and picked out the quotes and the points that I love and I think we need to explore further. I will put those in an editorial calendar so that we're capturing all the best ideas. And then I'll go back and say, what is most important to you in this given month? Do you need, are you on an email marketing schedule? And if you're not, you need to be. That's one of the most important things. Conversation for another day, but I could help you with your emails for the month. Say we do 1 or 2 emails in the month. We could do a blog post and we could make sure that blog post is helping you with your SEO, with your website. We can do 3 or 4 LinkedIn posts so that you're consistently showing up on LinkedIn. Even if you're only posting once a week on LinkedIn, you're in the top 1% of LinkedIn users and you are going to grow your audience and find new leads. And the list goes on. We can do YouTube scripts. We can do all kinds of things with your content. The point is to have one core piece like this that we can work from to start to parse out your knowledge, put it in a plan, and make sure that we can present that in your content. So that's what I do. I go away and write. I bring you back content that's ready to publish. It's your job to go publish and engage with the people that are in your network. Now, all you need is a good journalist in your corner. And if you don't have one, I'm right here. Book a call if you want to talk through this further. I look forward to seeing you.